Ready? Good evening. We'd like to call this Olivet City Council meeting to order. Tonight is Tuesday, November 12th. It is 7 o'clock. We are in the City Council chambers at Olivet City Center, 1140 Dealman Road in Olivet, Missouri, 63132. Roll call, please.
Mayor Weil,
Here.
Chairman Pro Tem Waldman,
Here.
Councilmember Knox,
Here.
and Councilmember Clark is absent, and Councilmember Carl is not here yet, on his way.
Before we go to communications, I would like to, on behalf of the City Council, give Chief Andresti our condolences on the loss of your beloved father. And we hope you hold on tight to those memories. So, next item, please.
Item 2, communications. We had no written communications.
Next item.
Item number 3, city managers report.
All right, good evening, everybody. Couple of things. It's the beginning of the month, and so we have the dashboard for Five Oaks. This will probably be one of the last dashboards we have because Five Oaks opened officially on November 5th. I know, big round of applause for everybody. It's been a long time coming. And as you can see, all construction complete. So they are just working their way through the punch list, which we expect that they will at least have most of that stuff done. They're supposed to have it done by Friday. There may be one or two random things that are outstanding, and that is not unusual for a construction project. So a couple pictures from the ribbon cutting at Five Oaks. If you have not seen the fancy board behind the front desk, it's kind of fun to look at that. We had a ton of folks there, so you can see the teaching kitchen on the left and the indoor playground there on the right. Pickleball was played by some residents and a couple of Olivet's finest officers. They were at a very distinct disadvantage, an extra 30 pounds, but they, with all of their equipment, but they held their own. And so then we're going to move on to the I-170 project, Gateway I-170 TIF. So crews are finishing the retaining wall at Price and Olive. If you have driven by, you've seen that the wall is up. They just need to do some backfilling. They're doing some final median work, and then they're doing some striping and signal timing. They also have opened that through lane and that right turn lane onto 170. So that I think many Olivet residents have been waiting for a while. So we're excited about that. Lot 3. Lot 3, they've received their permit. This is where Paris Baguette is going to go in that retail center there. So the lot has been flattened and is ready for construction. So we're just waiting for them to mobilize their construction folks and start bringing that retail space out of the ground. Lots 1 and 2 is where oh yeah, yep.
What is the completion for that? I don't see a date.
You know, I think that's going to be probably not until 2024, probably late 2024.
Okay, thank you.
It's going to depend on when they
Okay.
actually get started. Lot 4 is the apartment complex. So they are up and running and leasing away. I think most of their units have either been inspected or in the process of being in, their final inspections. So that is good. Lots 1 and 2, Aldi is going to go in lots 1 and 2. So Olivet is going to get its second grocery store. Very excited about that. And they have submitted their site plans. They're being reviewed by staff and then will be in front of PCDC this month. So we're looking forward to seeing that. And then they expect that, I believe, actually to come out of to be finished by about 2025, end of 2024, 2025. And then lot 5 is the office space. There really isn't an update for that. As we know, banks unfortunately are not leasing or lending for office buildings. The nature of work and where people work has really changed. So as I understand, Mr. Yowitz came to EDC last month and made some comments that he's not sure when lot 5 is really going to move forward. And then lot 6 is the hotel. And then he is working with the operating partner, which I take to be Marriott Courtyard, to work on some scheduling. So I know the hotel had wanted to wait until the office building was built because they don't want their guests driving through construction. But I think he's maybe working to see if he can't get that moving a little bit before that. So that's what we have for the TIF. I'm also happy to report that the city submitted their TIF report to the state a day ahead of the deadline tomorrow. So it is in. And thanks to Darren for the numbers for that. And then just news around town. It is November, so Turkey Trot will be happening November 23rd. We are up to more than 1,000 participants already, so that's very exciting. So that's in Stacy Park. Upcoming events, candidate filing opens December 5th, and candidate packets can be picked up November 21st. More information is available on the city's website. And then we have Coffee with a Cop next Tuesday morning at Fallon's. I know they're not normally open at 9 a.m., but for our police department, they are opening. So come on down, talk to one of our officers from 9 to 10 next Tuesday morning. Also, at the end of November, the comprehensive plan open house from 6 to 8 here in the city center. The comprehensive plan has been almost a year long, started March of this year. And we've taken multiple public comments and engagement and surveys and hours of review. And so this is the opportunity to really look at that plan, look at those draft recommendations, and give your kind of final comments on what you see. So we're really excited and hope everybody comes out to see that on the 30th. And then we would like to recognize Bruce McGregor, who happens to be here. He just got back from New York, but he was named Public Works Leader of the Year by the American Public Works Association. So we are happy and honored that he's still joins us. And then before we get to upcoming meetings, we do have one request. It has to do with 5 Oaks. So the Chamber of Commerce has asked to use the facilities at 5 Oaks for their bingo event fundraiser in January, upcoming January. And the council has a policy about allowing businesses to get the residential rate. So we're bringing to you, if you are okay with Beverly and her staff and the city offering the residential rate to the Chamber of Commerce for this event in January.
What is that residential rate?
If they use, and Beverly, correct me if I'm wrong, but if they use the multi-purpose room, it's $125 an hour. If they use the gym, it's $150 an hour, and it's going to depend on how many people they think are going to come. And then they would have to do the $350 damage deposit,
Okay.
regardless of the space that they use.
Okay.
Councilmember Knox, do you want to weigh in on it? Okay.
No.
I'm very comfortable with them using the that rate, and I think it would be nice for them to use our new facility at the resident rate.
I'm comfortable with the resident rate as well.
Okay, great.
Okay, so I'm seeing
And-
noddings of heads.
And the
Yes.
date of that event? Is it the last Friday in January?
I don't remember. Late January.
Great.
Okay, thank you very much for that. So upcoming meetings, we have planning and community design November 16th, EDC is the 27th of November, The next regular council meeting is November 28th. Comprehensive plan is November 30th, starts at 6 p.m. And then the council work session is December 5th. And that's all I have unless you have any additional questions. All right, thank you very much.
Next item, please.
Item number 4, city council reports.
I'll start at the far end. Councilmember Knox. It'd be over the last 2 weeks.
I have basically nothing to report except for the opening of Five Oaks. I thought we had a great showing there and I felt very proud of the city of Olivet and Beverly Tucker Knight's staff. So thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Chairman Pro Tem.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. I second the words of my fellow council member. It was an exciting time and the people in the show out was amazing. It was a beautiful day too. I didn't have a board meeting because PCDC, the previous schedule was canceled. And the next PCDC meeting, as noted, is going to be in 2 days. I will note that Thursday, I do have a municipal league executive board meeting, and I will be bringing any information back to the city, to the council and city manager. Thank you.
Would the record reflect that Councilmember Carl arrived? And Councilmember Carl, do you have anything to report from your last EDC meeting?
Not EDC, but pension board. So, I had the motion that they made, but, I don't have it handy and it's the actual, rebalancing, I would say is not. It's tweaking around the edges of what it is. They're doing what they do on a normal quarterly basis, which is look at how the investments performed, made some recommendations. The, pension board, it basically accepted those. They made a motion. They're gonna move a few $100,000 around to various different funds. As part of asset allocation. So that's what happened, basically. If anybody's interested in the motion, Jennifer was kind enough to send me the text and I will be glad to forward it to you.
Okay.
So,
Very good. And I thought there was an EDC with Greg Howard.
Greg Gowitz,
You gotta go back 2 weeks.
there was,
Okay,
I thought I heard you say EDC.
yeah, for EDC. Carlos, was there an EDC? No?
That was when Greg Yowitz presented, correct?
okay, oh, all right, because I think I've already reported on that though, because I've told everyone to look at the video.
Might have been a workshop.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's why I was confused.
Okay, and I just want to reiterate what Councilmember Knox shared. I'm a liaison to the Parks and Recreation Commission, and I thought as the day was winding up at the Five Oaks ribbon cutting and grand opening, I just was sitting there watching the trapeze aerialist. It's easier than saying trapeze artist. And I just thought, what a perfect day. Indoors, outdoors, all the energy. So many people from our community came. And I just keep, when I bump into people, people are just still so excited and they're joining. That's even more exciting. So congratulations to you and your entire staff and all of the directors, because all of your departments played some role in this coming to fruition. So thank you. Next item, please.
Item 5, hearing from citizens.
Is there anyone that wants to speak tonight from the community? Is there anyone online? In Zoom? Okay. Next item, please.
Item number 6, Bill 3016, an ordinance to approve a final subdivision plat titled 595 Dealman Road, first reading.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. My name is Carlos Trejo. I'm the Director of Planning and Community Development. And tonight before you is a bill 3016 that authorizes the city clerk to sign a final subdivision plat entitled 595 Dealman Road. This is an administrative process that authorizes the clerk to sign the legal documents that get recorded in St. Louis County that officially create the the plat. The plat is a 3-lot subdivision of an existing parcel. Address is 595 Dealman Road. There's an existing home on the property grounds. That home will stay. 2 new lots will be created. There'll be access off of White Rose Lane. The preliminary plat, which is where the evaluation and considerations taken place and where the plat can be approved or denied through the commission, has already gone through the process. Primary concerns were, again, it's a heavy vegetated parcel. The petitioner is aware, and they're taking an inventory of the trees that are there, and then we'll have an analysis of the tree, the tree conditions when they come in for the individual lots and placement. So he was cognizant of the concerns that were expressed and is taking the appropriate actions. As that not being part of the final subdivision plat, I wanted to inform the commission on that. Be glad to answer any specific questions, and then this item again will be before the council for a second reading at your next meeting.
In 2 weeks.
Yes, ma'am.
Are there any questions this evening?
Yes, Mr. Trejo.
Yes, sir.
I would, so the traffic to the 2 new homes will come in off of White Rose?
That is correct, sir.
And so what will it be a different street name or?
No, it's White Rose extends north-south, and then it turns and then connects to Bonham Woods in there. So they will be expanding the turn where the cul and creating a more formal cul-de-sac right there at that corner to allow the access of the 2 new lots.
Okay. Okay.
So
So I just
Chairman
had,
Pro Tem?
oh, sorry, I didn't know you.
Oh.
I guess, so you're saying they'll sit on a cul-de-sac on White Rose, the 2 new.
well, not a cul-de-sac. It'll be a turnaround. It does a 90-degree turn right now.
Yeah, I know
Uh,
exactly what you're talking about.
This will be kind of widened and
Okay.
curved.
No, they're not gonna, it's not gonna try to connect to Dealman, the house on Dealman in any way.
No, sir. The existing home will continue its access off of Dealman.
Okay, and I know that the topography back there is why
That is
assumed it
correct.
never really developed, and so I'm assuming there's gonna have to be some extra work back there to.
There will be some filling closer towards White Rose in there. But there is a substantial grade drop north of lot 3 because like a ravine, I won't call it a creek because it's not listed as a creek in the USGS maps, runs along that rear there. What we've asked the developer along with the property owner is to dedicate a strip of land that's part of that plot, the final plat there, that's roughly 25 feet wide. That will give the city the access, not necessarily to maintain the stream, but to ensure the protection of that stream and an adequate buffer in there. Developer will also, and this is part of the preliminary plat conditions, will be providing the engineering work to provide a future multi-purpose path from the White Rose improvements to the multi-purpose trail in the St. Louis City right away
Very nice.
in there. So.
Chairman Pro Tem?
So my questions don't always address right now the plot issue. In this map, just could you kind of point where the original home will continue to be? I know it shouldn't be on this map, but if there's a way to.
It would be on the kind of centered on the lower right-hand corner. Just a
Okay.
little bit south of where Ms. Yackley has the arrow right around there. There's an existing home that's been pretty secluded because of the topography on Dealman. And there's a driveway, and I believe the mailbox has some kind of character to it.
Okay, so that house is staying even,
At this time, yes.
okay, but that house could eventually be what is part of lot 1 down the
It
road?
would be as part of lot 1.
Okay,
yes.
I wanted that for clarification and for the public to know. Okay. Number 2, the path, the city dedicated area in the back, with PCDC, it was chopped up a bit and it is a straight line, a configuration after the gentleman had a conversation with PCDC. Whose responsibility is it futuristically with regard to that city dedication area and eventually cleaning that up for a pathway? Is that ours? Is that the developer before he finishes this plot of development?
we'd probably maintain it as is, in there unless there's gonna be necessary grading along. There will be like right around White Rose Lane, in there, but at this point, I don't think we would want to clear that pathway yet. It's
So-
something we can talk about separately in the improvement plans when the developer gets those submitted.
Okay, so that area back there will remain the brush and the trees and the
At this
forest.
point,
Okay,
correct,
okay.
you know, and that's a discussion we can have in the next phase of that process too, would be the improvement plans
Yes.
and then the individual homes when those
Okay,
come in.
great, great,
Uh,
great. That's a good thing to be doing. Okay, thank you. That's all of mine. I don't know if anyone has
Councilmember
follow-ups.
Yes, Mr. Trejo, so these lots 2 and 3, these are for single homes?
That is correct, sir.
Okay, that answers my question.
So we'll see you back in 2 weeks.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Item number 7, Bill 3017, an ordinance amending chapter 240.080 of the municipal code. First reading.
Mayor, I have received 2 applications for issuance of liquor licenses. Pardon?
It's Beverly. It's.
Oh. Did John?
We're
sorry.
on up to 7. We're not back up till late. Sorry, Mr. Trejo.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. This evening is the first reading of an amendment to the municipal code. That's another step in our process of updating all of our fees that for facility rentals and programs in the Parks and Recreation Department. At the second reading, I'll give a more detailed presentation about it, but this section that we're updating, requesting updating for this ordinance is the section of the code that details fees that are charged for programs and classes. So,
Great. Thank you.
that's all I have. Thank you very much.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Got it.
Next item, please.
Item number 8, applications for liquor license.
Now, Mr. Trejo.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, my name is Carlos Trejo. I'm the Director of Planning and Community Development, and we received 2 applications for liquor licenses. One's for East Seoul Oriental Grocery at 9622 Olive Boulevard. That's at Olivet Center. Andrew K. Lee, who's in attendance here, would be the managing partner for that license. And then we also received the liquor license application for Padel and Pickle Club St. Louis LLC that will be located at 1220 North Price Road. And we have Michael Puertas in attendance here in there. And both are applying for one. ESO is applying for the sale of package only. And then, of course, the Padel and Pickle is applying for consumption on the site.
What are the rules on Sundays with liquor?
And they're within our ordinance.
Yeah,
and
yeah. I'm sorry, Carlos.
No, it is on there. It is on your staff memo on the second page. It allows for the issue.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
As a separate purchase
Mhm.
in that license fee structure. And I believe it also outlines hours of operation and other sections of the code.
Okay,
And though, yeah, and it is on there. Sunday hours from 9 a.m.
nine
to
to
midnight.
midnight. Okay, thanks.
Are there any questions? I would be happy to entertain a motion.
Madam Mayor, I'd make a motion to authorize the city clerk to issue a liquor license for the remaining portion of 2023 calendar year to the following merchants: East Seoul Oriental Grocery at 9622 Olive Boulevard in the Olivet Center, and Padel and Pickle Club STL LLC.
Second.
Call for the vote.
Councilmember Knox,
Yes.
Councilmember Carl,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Waldman,
Yes,
Mayor Weil.
Yes.
The motion is passed.
And if you haven't had a chance to go into East Seoul Oriental Grocery, it's a treat. And we look forward to coming and visiting the Pedal and Pickle Club once you get up and opened. So
Thank you, Jill. Thank you. Mayor.
thank you both for coming. Thank you all for coming tonight.
And thank you for your investment in this community. Thank you much.
Next item, please.
Item number 9, approval of qualified vendor list for police vehicle upfitting.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. Beth Andruski, Chief of Police. I've got number 9 and 10, so if you're okay, I'll move into them. I know, sorry. I shouldn't say that. I may not be. Okay, so the first agenda item is a request for approval of our qualified vendor list. As the council knows, each year the police department upfits typically 2 police vehicles to rotate into our fleet as we rotate typically 2 out of the fleet. And this can be kind of a lengthy process just with equipment and who's got what and pricing and all of that. So earlier in the year, we discussed creating a qualified vendor list because there are limited companies who provide the service of specifically emergency vehicle upfitting. There's just not a lot of businesses that provide that. So we thought creating this qualified vendor list could help us kind of move along that process each year and help us work and kind of build relationships with some of these companies a little bit further. So a little while back, we sent out a request for qualified vendors to create this list, and we received responses from 3 companies, and 2 are in the local area. 1 is Jefferson City. Each of these companies we've worked with on some level and some of the employees on some level and have had good relationships and have been confident in the business that they've provided to us so far. So these 3 vendors, the Licensed Sirens guys, Turnkey Mobile, and VIP Public Safety are the 3 vendors that we would like to have on that qualified vendor list for a total of 5 years. So each year we could just go to them with quotes and or request quotes each year and bring that to council and again, kind of hopefully speed up that process a little bit. So I would ask of you guys tonight a motion to approve the qualified vendor list for police vehicle upfitting. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
For the chief?
No.
Okay, then
I
that-
do it. I
Chairman
just
Sokka?
want clarification,
Sure.
please forgive me. Were these the only 3 that responded or more responded and you chose these 3?
These were the only 3 that responded, and they're also, like I said, I think there's maybe 1 more in
Mhm.
down in Jefferson County,
Mhm.
but there just aren't a lot of them anyway.
Mhm.
So these were the 3 kind of closest in our region, and they were the only ones who responded. We did not receive any others.
Okay, and I'm not disputing, that, I'm going with what you're asking for.
Sure.
But, being that you're in the biz, someone else is in the biz, and you talk to the people that are in your biz as, as a police chief, are these typical, the 3 responses that they are also finding they're getting when they're doing their preferred vendor list, qualified vendor list?
I don't know if I have a good answer. I could find out for you, but I
Okay.
don't have an answer
Okay,
on
okay.
that.
I
If you're
didn't-
asking if
Okay.
other police departments, if it would
Yeah.
be typical.
Yeah,
I'm not sure, and I don't know offhand how many
Okay.
police departments
Okay.
do a qualified vendor list for vehicle
Okay,
upfitting. I'm
okay.
just not sure.
and in all fairness, it was a sudden question, in all fairness, it doesn't really have any beans to do with implementing what you're asking today, so I don't want you to take your time
Okay.
following up on that, okay? I just, if
Very
you
good.
knew, I was gonna go.
Yes, no
Okay,
problem.
thank you, thank you.
Are there any other questions? I'd be happy to entertain a motion.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion to approve a qualified vendors list for the police vehicle upfitting.
Second.
Call for the vote?
Councilmember Knox,
Yes.
Councilmember Carl,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Waldman,
Yes,
Mayor Weil,
Yes.
motion is passed.
Since that motion passed, you get to stay up.
Sorry, Carlos. See, I did get that right in a row, so.
Next
right.
item, please.
Item 10, approval for police vehicle upfitting.
Okay, so back to the upfitting, in anticipation and hopes that you guys would approve the qualified vendor list. We went ahead and got quotes from these three vendors. And they each got back to us within a relatively, close range of pricing. The licensed sirens guy came in at the best price, and also appears that we would be able to get the fastest turnaround time with the products we want from the licensed sirens guy at this time. So this motion, or this is a request for a motion to approve the purchase of vehicle upfitting, equipment and installation services from the licensed sirens guys not to exceed $25,520. And I'm happy to answer any questions also.
Are there any questions? I'll be happy to entertain a motion.
Go ahead.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion to approve the purchase of police vehicle upfitting equipment and installation services from the lights and sirens guys not to exceed $25,520.
Second,
Call for the vote.
Councilmember Knox,
yes.
Councilmember Carl,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Waldman,
Yes.
Mayor Weil,
Yes,
motion is passed.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
thank you. Next item.
Item 11, MoDOT Greenway Tap Construction Recommendation.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members, and if I just might interject one point on Chief Andruski's previous submission. The QVL process is very new to Missouri. This is really an artifact of post-COVID times. And my guess is in Chief Knox's, tenure, we were able to order off of a state or highway patrol agreement. And this is just a creative way, and then following state procedures to use the same process for us to do things more efficiently. So QVL is tested, it's approved, it's out there, and it's a great way for us to do procurement as well, especially in these specialty items that we're
Thank
looking
you.
for. Okay. So we've had an update on the city manager's report for some months now about our TAP grant. And it has taken us a little bit to get here, and just for a refresher, way back in 2021, we were talking about this partnership with GRG to construct the 599A segment of the Centennial Greenway to connect Dealman Road to Warson Park. We went through quite a laborious process of design. SHPO, which is State Historic Preservation Office review, environmental review, design, and right-of-way property access rights with our residents in adjacent to Indian Meadows Park. Once we completed all of that work, we got authorization from the state to advertise. And that just means that the state did the oversight on our process, and we opened bids in August. We had a number of bids on the table. I was pleased that we had, I think, 5. The original low bidder, the first low bidder, is a company called JTL Construction out of, I want to say, Wentzville area. They were the first low bidder, and then the second low bidder was Ranieri Construction. During the concurrence of award review request with the state, they checked what's called the MRCC, which is the Missouri Regional Certification Committee, for the DBE participation on this project. And just to step back on DBE, there are different authorities that review certification for minority business, women-owned business enterprise, disadvantaged business enterprise. There might be one more, MBWD. Anyway, it's a big acronym. The state only works on DBE, disadvantaged business. It doesn't recognize minority or women-owned. And it goes through the MRCC, which does have some reciprocal agreements with other agencies like the Lambert list, the City of St. Louis list. There's other outstate committees that review these participations. Well, the JTL company that they submitted is listed on the Lambert list, which I looked at as an MBE, and I did not check the MRCC. They are not DBE certified. So the JTL submittal, their first low bid, when they put in their DBE participation forms, their contractor did not meet the qualifications. The first contractor went through a sort of contested it and said they made a good faith effort to go through to get the DBE. It took quite a long time to go from the LPA projects office to the Office of External Affairs and Civil Rights in Jefferson City, and then to the legal team to finally turn down JTL's request stating that they did a good faith effort. So that came back to us, what about 2.5 weeks ago, I think, that we got that after our submittal of the first concurrence was done in early September. The second low bidder, we received concurrence of award. The letter is attached. So what we're asking for today is authority to enter into an agreement with Ranieri Construction for $2,783,000 plus to construct the Greenway. This grant is a 50% grant with the state up to $1 million. So within these project funds, we as a partner to GRG will receive up to our program maximum of $1 million. And then through our partnership with MSD, they will reimburse us for the expenses paid to the contractor. So when we receive an invoice, we'll go with the finance department. We will pay the bill. We will submit a percentage reimbursement request to the state. And just like at the community center, we'll submit another reimbursement request to Great Rivers Greenway to pay us what we won't receive in the grant amount. Okay. The project is under budget. GRG has a $3.4 million plus a contingency project budget. So we are under that, even with construction inspection fees and other management costs. So we do have a good buffer in this. It's a touch unfortunate for JTL. They were very interested in doing this work here, but this is the administration we have to go through. I've gone through quite a bit kind of quickly. Is there a question? Would anybody like to ask? Yes.
Do you have a question?
Yes.
So Bruce, I'm gonna assume that we lost some time because of the JTL issue and
Yes.
and that issue. And in my reading about things I don't always like, such as the endangered species mitigation period, we're in that period now.
Yes.
And, you know, it's about to close.
It's early March.
Okay, but,
Yeah.
okay.
So
okay.
we have a little bit of time, but not as much buffer as our whole program idea was to be doing this in early October. Migrations November.
Right,
Yeah.
so given where we are with us giving you the blessing today for this award, do you have any idea about the ability for them to get started with regard to the endangered species tree removal process? Is that gonna take time before that gets started, or they get this deal from us and they get going now?
So that is a very good question. And some of those items I can't really ask of the contractor without an award. A couple things. First of all, when we issued the notice to the bids were only supposed to be for 60 days. So we had to ask Ranieri that they would hold the bid open longer. And to make sure that in this time between August, when we opened bids and they did not think they were an award winner, that they didn't already take on more projects to go through the winter. The answer is no, they do not. They have availability to do the work. It has been told to them that is everyone's interest to get the endangered species work done as soon as possible. And, you know, with approval, that is our first step. Now, with all that being said, we can push as the city as much as we want. We still have to go back to the state and submit more documents to them, the contract, performance bonds, a whole schedule of participants, things like that has to go back to the state before they even issue a notice to proceed and allow us to have the pre-construction meeting. So, you know, anytime we're getting close to this Thanksgiving to New Year's whirlwind of activities, it's always, you know, puts me on edge about how to schedule these meetings and how to get things to move through the administration office. So that is something we are asking and we're very concerned about and will be a #1 priority to get these removals done as quickly as possible.
Thank you very much. And for
Yes.
those that may listen to this later, the endangered species is bats.
Yes, it is I think it's a brown nose or a small nose bat. I think it's, yeah, it's anyway, yes, right. There are a number of other ones. We just don't have them here in our park. As a salamander and a few other things. Mr. Martin, did you have a question as well?
Thank you. Yeah, I know, I appreciate the history with Bill 2957. That helps explain things a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But the contract itself doesn't appear to be a part of what's before the council today. Contract with Ranieri. If it is, I'm not seeing it.
Oh, dear.
So I do not know if there is a,
It is, well, I can tell you it's the same MoDOT contract we've used with our other federal highway. And I can email it to you as soon as I sit down for review.
okay, can you,
In fact, I can probably. I was in haste last week when I put this together. Here, let me forward a. I do not use the web version of Outlook very much, so you have to apologize for this.
Mr. Martin, for process, could we go to the next item, allow him to do what he needs to do to get you the contract to look at it, to come
I'm doing
back?
2 things. I'm sending it to Paul, to you and to Jennifer. Exactly. So maybe you can pop it up on the screen. And then if you want to take a quick perusal of it, we can talk about the surplus items. I apologize for that. I threw this together last week and I did not include that for some reason. I'm sure it is embedded in all the bid documents and everything else. So I know it's there somewhere.
Still, ladies and gentlemen, this is your tax dollars at work. The technology of what we have today is still amazing. You can get it here within 5 minutes.
Oh, that's not your regular computer.
Just want you to know that if you call it, it's just a simple.
Hey, can you put it on Town Square?
Maybe. Pete's sake. You want me to send it to you?
What happens when you don't carry your cell phone with you at all times?
You know, if you say call it, all you gotta do is hit pound. button.
It's
Get
in
it.
my purse.
On the way. I did not put it on Town Square, but it is on the way to you, Darren. Where do you want me to put it in Town Square? You have it already? Okay. Owner contract Ranieri, it was right. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, can we get this posted on the website? And unfortunately, there it is. Hold on. Oh my goodness gracious. I don't know what the deal is, but my little device isn't working here. I don't know.
What happened?
Want to send it to the printer? I have a helper named Carlos who can run and grab it. There's a very brief item. We'll go to item 12, which I'm here for now.
Item 12, Public Works and Parks surplus items declaration.
Okay, well, we have two items up for surplus. Back in the old days, before we had a skid steer, Public Works used a hard hat, head muffs, and the old jackhammer that you stood and held, and we had a 45 to 60 and 90-pound jackhammer and a tow behind air compressor with hoses. And we were trying to figure out when the last time we actually started up, and it was a couple years before we got the skid steer. So it was taking up space. We were reorganizing things at Public Works, and I said, you know, it's time to let go of this one. Really, I wanted space to park our new truck and get it out of the elements. I said, why are we keeping this air compressor just in case when we have a brand new truck we need to put out under roof? So that's item number one, is the 1988 Grimmer Schmidt compressor. And then Parks Department has 12 chairs from IKEA that were purchased for the old community center that are no longer needed, that are ready to go for surplus as well.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, Mr. McGregor, under the description of the Grimmer Schmidt air compressor and jackhammer,
Mhm.
it says purchase price. That you're telling us what we paid for it back
That's
in
what we paid for it in
1988.
1988 with the
Okay.
jackhammers and the hoses
Okay,
and the
okay.
assembly. It's still listed in as one of our assets.
Okay,
That's why it has an asset number.
okay,
The chairs probably didn't meet
Yeah.
asset qualification yet. They're kind of new. So we said before we try to auction or, you know, gov bids or whatever, we wanted to ask permission since they are relatively new. I'm guessing Beverly, what, 5-6 years, those chairs?
Oh, no, we purchased them in 2015 or
16. Okay. So we're talking 8 years for those. So, okay.
Great. Are there any questions? Is there a motion?
you got it? Oh, I got it. Okay. You got it?
He doesn't have his- Missy, do it.
Okay, Madam Mayor and City Manager, I motion to declare the Public Works asset 8597 and Park Department chairs as surplus.
Is there a second?
Second,
Thank you. Call for the vote.
Councilmember Knox,
Yes.
Councilmember Carl,
yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Waldman,
Yes,
Mayor Weil.
Yeah.
Motion is passed.
Yes. Thank you. Can we go back to the other, or should we keep going?
I think we're fine, Mayor. My concern really isn't so much my review of the contract, because since it is a standard MoDOT contract, there's nothing really we can do about it anyway. But contracts are supposed to be approved. The terms of the contract have to be formally approved by the council, and it has to ultimately be reflected in the minutes. That approval has to be reflected in the minutes. So it's exactly as Mr. McGregor said, it's for the construction, it's a MoDOT contract for the construction of the Greenway. And the motion should be for the approval of the contract with Ranieri Construction in an amount not to exceed $2,783,405.23.
So moved.
second,
All for the vote.
Councilmember Knox,
Yes.
Councilmember Carl,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Waldman,
yes,
Mayor Weil.
Yes.
Motion is passed.
I do apologize for now. I would normally include that in the package of attachments. I don't know how I missed that one.
Don't worry. Thank you.
Okay.
Next item, please.
Item 13, hearing from citizens, part 2.
It doesn't appear that anyone would like to do that this evening. So we'll go on to the next item, please.
Item 14, review and approval of minutes.
I saw no issues.
Um, I'll take a motion.
Right.
You can't.
Okay, Madam Mayor, I move that we approve the meeting minutes of October 24th, 2023, and the work session minutes of October 7th, 2023 as
November
written.
7th.
Hmm?
November 7th.
What did I say, November 7th, 2023 work session minutes and October 24 council meeting minutes as written.
Second,
Call for the vote.
Hmm.
Councilmember Knox,
Yes.
Councilmember Carl,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Waldman,
Yes.
Mayor Weil,
Yes.
motion is passed.
Next item.
Item 15, city attorney's report.
Madam Mayor, I have no report, but we had anticipated a closed session to talk about the legalities and intricacies of bamboo.
Okay.
So we'd ask for a motion to close under 610-021.1 for attorney-client communications.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. I'll call for a vote, please.
Councilmember Knox,
Yes.
Councilmember Carl,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Waldman,
Yes.
Mayor Weil,
Yes.
motion is passed.
Okay. We're gonna pause the recording and go into closed session. We're back from closed session. There was wonderful discussion, but no decisions were made. Thank you. I would be happy to,
So moved.
you let me
I
finish
make a
my
motion-
sentence.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.